Hi guys, I am Akshat and today we will be routing a machine named City Council as you can see, and this machine is a medium rated machine Active Directory box on HackSmarter platform, and without any delays let's get into it. So already had my setup in my Kali VM, and without any further delays let's just jump off to my VPN. So for VPN, we use OpenVPN. As you can see, I have practiced this box a bit before, but I haven't got the user and flag, user flag and the root flag yet. So I'll walk through my whole process of how I solve this machine from scratch. And let's just get into it. I'll show you my whole methodology. Shoot, I can't speak up with that. Come on, my apologies. And there's my first video. Okay, let's get into it. So now that we are connected to the VPN, first we rename it. For renaming, we use Alt Shift S and we name it as VPN. And this one, I would make it for my scans. So just I'll run some scans. First, let's just machine on. Yep. So this platform is really great for practicing, and it has some of the best machines I've seen so far. And I combined this with Hack the Box, like the HackSmarter platform and the Hack the Box platform. I believe that these two are one of the best out there to practice, and it gives you a realistic view of how actually the machines are built and in real world scenarios. Trust me, guys, it is almost similar to the real world scenario. So while the machine is starting off, let's just see if I would give it 3 to 5 minutes to just start the machine. As we can see, it is written here. So let's wait for 3 to 5 minutes and then we'll get into the machine. So this guy here is the creator of the lab, and here you also have community walkthroughs, and but I won't be going through that right now. We will first try to solve the machine ourselves and see. There are points where we are going to get stuck, guys. Let's be real. I see people on YouTube solving a machine in 10 to 15 minutes. That's literally not possible, guys. I see that. But I know for sure that they have done this machine before and they are going to solve it in 10 to 15 minutes. And when I solve that machine, it takes me more than like 2 hours or so. But yep, that's how it is. So without any further delays, now I think the machine is running. Yeah. So let's just ping and check if this machine is pingable for us. Okay. Yep. So the machine is, yep, it's running. So let's just stop this first. Yep. So I use Ruscan just because it is so faster and helps me to see all the ports open quickly. So let's just run Ruscan quickly over the network IP given to us. So the syntax for Ruscan is pretty simple. Use Ruscan tag A for giving the IP, and if you know your Nmap flags. So first thing, we can combine this to Nmap. So this dash dash flag is given if we are passing it to Nmap, and that if you know your Nmap flags dash capital A for is running all these enumeration scripts at it. And let's see. Yep. Yeah. So I'll walk you through each and every port which is open. So port 53 is definitely the DNS. Port 80. Okay, we see a web server running here. Okay, that's cool. Port 88. I can definitely say that this is a domain controller because it has Kerberos running on it. So when mostly it is present on the domain controller. Okay, so while this scan is running, the first thing what I like to see is port 80 running on it. So I would directly jump over to see what is running on the web server. Let's see. Okay. Okay. We get this line, nice little page, guys. Welcome to our city hall. Okay. Let's just see quickly if there are something interesting for us present here. Okay. Uh, our services. No. Yep. See. What do you guys see here? The most interesting part is we got our users. These are probably the users in the domain, I believe. Let's just see. So what I did was I took this and certainly what I did, 1 second, just name it terminal and I created probable users.txt file where I gave all these names so that just I could use it further. And then I used a username generator.py as a script here. This could be found on GitHub very easily. Then the syntax for it is just Python 3 username generator.py and you give your current users dot probably user dot text file and then you give it just a name like users.txt. This would be a new file that will be created. So what I did was after that, this created me a users.txt file and yep, as you could see, this is a users.txt file. And now what I used was Kerberoast. This is a tool which I think could be used pretty very much. Like this tool is designed for brute forcing credentials and to it and how this works is like through Kerberos authentication. So the syntax, what we can see from here is we are going to user enum. Domain is city.local and DC is just the domain controller IP which we have to provide. We can see here DC and we have to provide this with the IP and the users file which is the users.txt and it will give us a bunch of users which are present. Okay, this is it. So we get these 4 users which are present and this is pretty much the same which was mentioned there over on the website. Yep, Emma.Rise, John.Peters, Rita.Show, and Nina.Sodo, right? Okay, so let's just proceed with it. The next thing, what I am going to see on the website is enumerate further. Yeah, let's see if there's anything present more which we could utilize for sure. About nothing seems interesting here. Services, resources. Okay, let's see if anything goes us. Okay, so there is a newsletter, but nothing seems interesting here. Document and forms. All right, guys. So what I can see here is this is a Windows exe binary, and this is for Linux. As we can see, we have the Kali running here, so I would just go on and download this. Okay, so this is a .binary file. We can probably see it afterwards. Let it download and further let's just see. Uh, so we have valid users, but not their password. So there is nothing, I think. Let's see if we are able to access some shares anonymously. Okay, so it says status denied, access denied. So nothing seems interesting. We are not able to list the shares anonymously. So the next thing, what I think could be the way is through binary, maybe. Let's just see first if yeah, it's downloaded, guys. I'll just move it from to current directory, and when we see here, we have it. Uh, where is it? Yeah. So this is the bin file. I would just run it here. Okay. So first, let's just give it the executable permissions. Sorry. And now let's just run it. Okay. That seems interesting. What are we going to do with this? None of it is clickable. Okay, so there is a submit application. Uh, let's just put something, some data here, so just that we can do something with it. Okay, there. I would love to analyze the network traffic over here because I'll tell you the reason why. So I can see there is this application status log. Probably when we submit an application, so this submit button would give our IP and like there goes a request to the server. Let's just see if there is anything we can find through network traffic. So I would use Wireshark for this. Wireshark is probably most of you guys know and are aware of it. It is a packet analyzer tool, and I would analyze the packets on. So I am on my tunnel zero interface, so I would use that. You guys might use any of the tunnel, like which is on which your VPN is running. Okay, so now let's just submit this application and let's see. Okay, using SVC service portal. Okay, so we see that there is business license has been processed, reference number. Okay, now let's just stop the traffic and see. As you guys can see, we have received a bunch of requests packets. So let's just see if there is anything interesting for us. Uh, there's a bunch of requests, guys, and we have to. Okay, so anyone, let's just see the most interesting thing we have found here is this. So this is the user and password for a service account, which we have found just by analyzing the packets. So this is the importance of using packet analyzers, and I would say I run it pretty much on all the machines that I saw. This is my method of doing it. So let's just see if the credentials are valid. Let's just verify it. Uh, I would also name this as terminal. Let's just verify smb cd.local -u svc underscore services. Yep, is it right? Just a second. cc underscore services, and the password is portal1337. Yep, that's right. Let's see if these creds are valid. Damn, these creds are valid. So let's see if there is anything interesting we can access, share probably. If guys, if we have read or write share, read or write permission to any of the share, that would be interesting to see, which I probably don't think because I solved this machine long back, but yeah. So as you can see, the most interesting thing what I will say guys is we have read permissions on IPC. So if we have read permissions on IPC share, we could list out the users. This is one of the most necessary thing I would say, which is useful. So let's just see administrator account which is built in guest Kerberoasting KRBTGT. Yeah. So here we are getting all our users, and we also get the description here. So most of the times in machines, it is very common that in description you might get the passwords. And this is not only about machines. We have found this in real world also. So, okay, dedicated administrative account for IIS web server infrastructure and management operations. Okay, so we got our users. I would save this in a users file. I'll create that file and save it. But let's see. Now we are going to collect the bloodhound loop. So I believe, yeah, I did it with like NetExec because it is just simple rather than using tools like Bloodhound and Python or which is legacy version. But I would directly use NetExec's module for this. I believe it is LDAP. Yeah, let's just change this to LDAP. And no, this is wrong. Bloodhound. Yep, this is syntax, and we just collect the loot. Okay, this doesn't seem to work because of domain. Like we are giving it a domain over here, but instead it would be better if you guys would directly provide the IP. This seems to work with, sometimes it does work, but most of the time it doesn't, from my experience, what I have seen. So I directly like to give this the IP and then hit enter. Yep, so it is working. It is collecting all the data which is present. It won't take much long, guys. So let's just wait for this to get completed. Mm, okay. So what Bloodhound is, I would like to think of it as uh, Google Maps for Active Directory. It helps you map out your attack environment, like the domain which you are attacking. This Bloodhound helps you to map out these attack paths. Let's say if you have an access to a valid user, you could directly map out the attack path, see if that user has any interesting permissions or any access to uh, uh, file share, any one object control. Let's see. So I will just move it here. So to current directory, and now so I use Bloodhound CLI. You could directly use the Bloodhound, which is inbuilt from Kali, but my machine does not support that. That is why I'm using Bloodhound CLI. That uses Docker containers, and I believe that helps me without like that helps me a lot. So I'll just use Bloodhound CLI. So I go syntax for it is Bloodhound CLI. Okay, just blood. So I would use sudo for that. Let's just wait for it to start. It won't take much long, and we will go ahead and just. So in my machine, it would be a little slow, but yep, that's how it is. See, so the Bloodhound is started, I believe. Just wait for a minute or so. Yep, I think it is running. Let's just verify it. Okay, just okay. I think something is wrong. I'll try it again. Yep, now it has started. Okay, interesting. We are seeing some errors here. So first, I would stop this. I'll run it again. And we will run into problems like these, guys. A big part of our work is bugging, debugging out like the errors are there and you have to fix them. So let's just do that. Now, I believe I'm writing the syntax right. Start run. Yeah, no. Hmm. I believe that it will run this time. Let's see. So for downloading, guys, Bloodhound CLI, you would just head over here and just write Bloodhound CLI GitHub, and you can find it here. Yeah, just a second. Yeah, this is here. From here, you can just go ahead, follow the setup instructions, and it just works well. This Bloodhound CLI, probably if you guys know from before, we used to just connect this Neo4j database and just connect our Bloodhound with that. But this Bloodhound CLI removes that long process and makes it very shorter. So yeah, so now we can see that this is running up and we can do Bloodhound. Yeah, so this is how it is running now. So I have my username and password stored here, so which I just use and log in. So it just would take almost less than a minute to log in my system, because as you guys could see that the CPU utilization is too much and my system starts getting heated. But this is good. This Bloodhound is one of the most common tools that you will come across in the industry to utilize and gain an understanding of, I would say, the architecture and an understanding of the domain which you are probably attacking. Let's just wait for it to log in. Okay, it is taking a bit of time to log in. Till then, we will just go to this and see if there is anything more interesting. Just a sec, guys. I'm not pretty sure that, yeah, now it is working. So I have already ingested this in my Bloodhound. So you could probably upload your data from here. Just upload your quick upload, and you can just click on that, and you can click on here and upload your data. So we just press it. I have already done that, so I would not be doing that again, but I would show you guys how you can probably do this. You just go over to the file and just click on open and click upload. So your data will be uploaded. Let's see our user has any interesting permissions also. SVC services portal. This is the one. So it just shows up like this. And I have, as you can see, this little skull present over here. I have marked him as owned. So this just looks a bit cool to me. So that is why I do that. We cannot see any outbound object control yet. So there is no outbound object control like the user that this our current user controls. So I what I would like to do is run some cipher queries and see some quick and easy wins using some saved queries. So is there any interesting query we can run? Uh, let's just see. So since we have valid credentials, Azure posting would not be really interesting, but we can look at it. Let's see some Kerberoastable users. It's just running. Let's see. Yes, this city.local, and there is a user named club.john. That is Kerberoastable, guys. So I will go ahead here, and the easy way to do this is using netexec. Use an netexec SMB, and I believe no, I think it uses LDAP. Yep. So the syntax for this is dash dash Kerberos, and we'll give it a name as curve.text. See, this is a KRB5 hash, and we can go ahead and crack this using password cracking tools such as John or Hashcat. Hashcat I would not be using here because it does not work right on this system. So I like to use John. The syntax for this is, as you can see, I would use auto detect feature mostly. I use that, but you could go ahead and mention the format also. So our file name is curve.txt. Yep, curve.txt, and we add the rules flag here. Yep, and let's just run it. Let's see if we get the credentials. Let's see. Yep, we got it. We got our first pair of credentials. Clerk. Let's just verify if this is valid. City.local. User is clerk.john. And password is clerkhill. I believe. Yeah. Let's just see. I'm sorry, guys. I have did this machine long back, so there might be things that will be shown over here that I've already run. But yeah. So yeah, this user is a valid credentials, like this user has valid credentials, right. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and see if he has some interesting permissions to see some shares. And till then, we'll see what permissions this user has. Go up, give me a moment, guys. Clerk.john. And I've already marked him as own. So this user also does not have any outbound object control. Let's see if he has. Yeah. So one thing that stands out to us is this read and write permission to uploads directory. Now, what we can do here is we can just put a LNK file, which is basically a Windows shortcut file, and this, if pressed, like if anybody this enters into the uploads directory, what we would do is essentially we turn on our responder and we will get the hash of the user who just enters the uploads directory. And NetExec has a really good module named Slinky, I believe. Yep, dash M, right? Yeah. So Slinky module. This I have done it before, like on other machines. So through my notes, I was able to access this. You could also use the NetExec wiki for this, I believe. Just a minute, I'll show you that as well. Yep. So this is the netexec.wiki. This is a really great site because I believe if there's something which of course, there are a lot of things which I don't know, so I use this very often. So here I believe, just a second, I'll see Slinky. Modules, right? We will go ahead into the modules tab. This is pretty much this is pretty much the way how you use it, and you can find it over here. I'm not going to go into detail; it will take a lot of time. So let's just use it. Dash O. If you can see there, the capital O, sorry, the small O flag is given. Module options are specified with this flag. So the name we are going to give it as mod.lnk, I believe. Yep. How to use this because I don't remember the commands really. I'm not really good at it, but I use mostly NetExec wiki for that. So I would use it, give it a name mod.lnk. You could give it whatever name you want. So let's just confirm what is our IP using the command IPA tunnel 0 interface for 10.240.36 our IP. So first I would go ahead and start up my responder here on tunnel 0 interface and then hit enter. Let's hope for the best. Okay, I think it is working. Yeah, so see, found writable share uploads, created LNK file. I believe you guys are able to see this. And when we go ahead to our responder, you can see since I have already captured that, it is not showing up here. So we can get the hash of John.Peters user. So we can confirm I saved hash.text, I believe. Yeah. So this is what you will get, the hash.text, like the hash of this user, John.Peters, and we go ahead and crack it again using John, of course, because of some reasons my hashcat does not work. So I use John mostly. Yep. So since I have already cracked that hash, I think it will dash dash show would be the right flag. Uh, just a moment. So uh, hash one dot x. Okay, I'll just give it the format as well. The format is net NTLM v2. Okay, first I'll remove it and try it again. I'll do that again. So this sometimes happens when you already have done this machine. Like not exactly done, but yep, this happens sometimes. Let's just try it again. Okay, so the same thing is happening. Skipping previously hash. See if how I can the previous hash which was captured. I'm not really aware of it, so we are of course going to search about it. Let's just how to see previous captured hash from responder. Logs file. Okay. Yeah. So this was the hash which we would be getting. So just use this, copy it up, and paste it in a hash.text, and then use John. John, I believe, has this John.pot file which stores the sorry. Yeah. So this is the one which stores the previously cracked hashes. So because of that, I believe it is not showing us. But if you guys do it, it will definitely work. So just use this file. Right. One sec. Clerk will just check rep tag IE. What is the user? John.Peters. Peters. Yeah. So this is what we will get after cracking the hash. Since I have already done this uh, a while ago, that is why it is not working for me. But if you use it, it will definitely work. Just go ahead and copy it out, and let's just confirm that this credentials are valid. I would use exec city.local. User is John.Peter and password is this. And let's just first confirm if we are able to access. This is a valid credential, I believe. Yeah, so it is valid. Let's see if any more interesting shares are accessible. Till then, we can go ahead and see Bloodhound for this user if this has any interesting permission. So clerk, no, Peter, John.Peters, sorry. So let's see if he has any interesting permission, which I believe he has. Yep, definitely, guys. I knew that this was the intended way, I think. Yeah. So we can see that this user has generic write permissions over three users: Paul.Roberts, Maria.Clerk, Nina.Soto. So what we can do is we can perform a targeted Kerberoast, I believe. Let me just confirm. You go ahead and click on generate write and please go to Linux abuse. Yeah. So we can perform a targeted Kerberoast on this. So I'll show you how to do that as well. So first I would see if targeted Kerberoast is present here, which I believe no, it is not there. So I have it in my downloads. Targeted Kerberoast. Yeah. So I head over to this directory. So I would create a virtual environment, which I have already done. So I would just activate it. So I would install the requirements.txt file, which I believe it must be already installed. Yep. So Python create uh, what was the targeted Kerberoast.py? Yeah. So this is the syntax for targeted Kerberoast. I just hit enter. So you can see that we successfully got the hashes of all the three users which was there. Clerk.derm was already there, so we won't count it out. Maria.clerk, Paul Roberts, and Nina Soto. So let's see, we go ahead and first save this in a file, I believe. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and copy that. Sorry guys. A little problem with my trackpad. So I'll just go ahead and copy this all into a single file. So targ curve dot text file and just save it up. We'll first just remove this. I'm pretty sure there are other easier ways to do than how I am doing, but this is how I go about it. So I'm sorry in advance if it does not match your way of doing it. You could probably ping me up and tell me what am I doing wrong or what I could do better. I would love all of your feedbacks as well. So yeah, so I'll just save this and now I would use John dash dash wordless and let it do it on its own target text file. Yeah. So it automatically detected three different sources, which is like the KRB5 THS, TGS7. Let's just see if it is able to crack it off. Till then, we'll see if any of these users has any interesting permissions. No outbound object control, no object control, no object control, I believe. Yeah. So there is no outbound object control in all of the three users. So the next thing I would see if these users have any interesting access to any of the shares. Let's see first if, yep. So we got a password for Maria, I believe. Yeah. So I would use it up here. Let's just create a new terminal. So nxcsmb dot local user Maria. No, what was it? Maria clerk. Tag p dash dash. First, let's confirm if he has any access to shares. First, yeah. Let's see if it has a valid credential, which I believe it is. Mm, yeah, it does. So let's see any interesting shares. Hmm. Okay. So let's see. Yeah. So no, there are no interesting shares, which I believe this is not the way in for us. And we got one more password, which is I believe Nina.Soto. Yeah. So let's see if this user has any interesting share permissions to any interesting here. Nina.Soto. First, let's confirm. Yep. So it has valid credentials. Let's see the shares, if any, accessible. Yep. So one thing that stands out to us is definitely this backup folder. we have read permissions to this. So let's see. I think I could use assembly client for it. Yep. So this is the syntax. I would just go ahead and hit enter. The password is this. I'll just copy it. So let's see. Document backup, user profile backup. Let's see if we can go ahead to document backup. No, we can't. Or we can, I think, just because of. No, yes, we can't access that. So we head over to user profile backups, a list. So there is both of this. You could use the command m star for this. It will ask you and hit yes. So this will take time, guys. I have already done that, so I would not be taking too much of. I'll just show you guys. So this uh, this is the vim file.wim, which is a user profile. So here probably, yep. So till here, I believe, guys, this is a natural stopping point for this part of. In the next part, we will see how we can go ahead and get our first user flag. So stay tuned, and next video will be coming soon. It will be soon on my YouTube channel. I've already recorded that as well. So it will be coming soon, right? Thanks for joining in and watching my video till here. And in the next part, we will complete this machine, I believe. Yes. So thanks, and do hit that like, subscribe, and all the YouTube algorithms which are present. Thank you, guys. So this is a natural stopping point for it. Yeah.